years, Paul Noble had the exclusive contract to distribute my wines to restaurants and stores. A monopoly he ran like a tin-pot dictator, and the reason so many vineyard owners hated him. If you wanted your wine sold anywhere outside your tasting room, it worked like this. Paul told you what he'd pay for it, and you said okay. Tell him no, or if you think I'm giving it to you for that price, you're out of your mind, and no one else would or could buy it. Hence the word exclusive, and the reason he got away with rock-bottom offers that forced more than one small family-owned vineyard to throw in the towel after their profit margin flatlined. These were hard-working people, friends, not some faceless business ventures. Paul was nothing more than a wholesaler middleman who pocketed a share of someone else's blood, sweat, and toil. For that, we could thank the 21st Amendment to the Constitution, which repealed prohibition but kept a chokehold over the distribution of demon alcohol, spawning the Paul Nobles of this world. It wasn't fair, but it was the law. Paul had called me 2 days ago, a Tuesday. The minute I saw his name flash on my phone's caller ID display, I knew I was in for it. He didn't waste any time telling me he could no longer buy my Cabernet Sauvignon for the price we'd agreed in the spring, and if I wanted him to take it now, I had to throw in my Sauvignon Blanc, medals and all, for another fire sale price. "We had a deal," I said. "You promised." He'd caught me as I was walking through the courtyard that connected the barrel room where we made wine with the tasting room where we sold it. In the distance, the vineyard was summer lush and green, framed by the soft-shouldered Blue Ridge Mountains. I loved this view, especially at sunset when the honey-colored lights spread across the fields and gilded the vines like a scene out of a dream. "Look, Lucy, it's not my fault the economy's in the toilet," he said. "I can't sell it if I buy it at that price now." A dead-headed flowers in a wine barrel planter filled with rioting petunias and variegated ivy, snapping off wilted blossoms and thinking evil thoughts about Paul. He could keep our agreement and sell it at the old price, but it meant cutting his own profit. "Paul," I said, "please." "Sorry, kiddo, no can do." "I can't even cover my costs if I sell it to you for that price." "It's just for now," he said. "Things will improve and we'll do better next year. We all have to tighten our belts, you know." Paul's belt went around a waistline that was 40-plus inches. He flew to Europe regularly to negotiate deals on the wines he imported, where he also bought his handmade shirts on Jermyn Street and his bespoke tailored suits on Savile Row in London, his favorite tasseled loafers at Gucci in Rome, and his silk bow ties from haute couture designers in Paris. "Maybe we can talk about this," I said. "Sweetheart, come on, I'm trying to help you here." He sucked air through the straw of whatever he was drinking, a perfect metaphor for our conversation and the way I felt. "You know as well as I do that unless you meet my price, your wine will just sit in the warehouse. No one will touch it. They'll buy something else." "That's not true." I rubbed a small spot between my eyes where my pulse had started to pound. I knew this game. He muscled me to cut my profit, and then he did the same thing to the retailer. Everybody bled but him. "Look, I gotta go. Someone just walked in. Think it over. You've got 2 days." He hung up before I could make a stunned reply. One of the threadbare jokes about owning a vineyard is that it's a surefire way to make a small fortune. All you have to do is start with a large one. I didn't have a large fortune when I took over the family business 4 years ago, thanks to Leland, my father, who never met an investment opportunity or get-rich-quick scheme that hadn't called out to him and his wallet until he died in a hunting accident. After his death, an inheritance from my mother's estate helped me get back on my feet, but that money was gone after fixing what Leland had let get run down and planting more vines.